So hello gamers and welcome to a very long awaited video, Phantom Forces Tips and Tricks Part 3. Part 2 did not get 10,000 likes, however, it did get over 5,000, so I decided if this video gets 5,000 likes, I'll do the other 50. Make sure to like this video because I have 50 more prepared, and if this video gets 5,000 likes, I will immediately make the second part. It could literally be a week from now. I will literally do it in a week. I do not care. I will do it immediately if this gets 5,000 likes. If you guys enjoyed, definitely make sure to like and subscribe. Check out the other two parts of this video, but let's get into it. The AKM is actually slightly less accurate than the AK-47. The reason it doesn't look like this is because the AKM has far less camera recoil. Since the AN-94's first two shots in automatic are fired at 1800 rounds per minute, you can use the 7.62 conversion, which can two-shot head, to practically insta-kill. Do not use 223 on the FAMAS F1. You will lose your 3-shot kill CQC and your 5-shot kill at range, and you won't even get a bigger magazine. You can spot a player or use a ballistics tracker even outside of your render distance. This is very helpful if you play on 1 or 2 graphics, and is actually pretty helpful even on 10 if there's a very large map. The intervention has the highest default velocity in the entire game. The Saiga 12 is actually better than the AA-12 in nearly every way. It has higher RPM, better spread, but remember to never use Saiga 12 auto conversion because it doesn't actually increase your RPM, just your spread and your recoil. The Desert Eagle L5 is no longer just a direct upgrade to the revolvers. It doesn't actually fire as fast and actually can have a worse headshot kill range. The KSG-12 and Remington 870 are possibly the best guns to use flechette on. Due to their 32 or 33 damage, they actually keep their 4 pellet kills up close instead of other shotguns which actually lose a pellet to kill with flechette. If you have a little bit of trouble with the AS Val and how slow it can be, check out Retract Stock. The recoil is still pretty good and you do walk faster. The long barrel on certain guns actually increases both max and min damage range, making it pretty much just a direct upgrade. Certain iron sights can be put on pretty much every gun. For example, here's the IWI sight, the TAR-21 irons on the Honey Badger. 5.56 on the Colt SMG actually increases your headshot multi. Sometimes the lowest recoil setup is not the best. Just because the oil filter lowers your recoil doesn't mean it's worth losing 15% of your RPM, a ton of damage ranges, and 5% of your velocity. Using the red or green laser can pop off on revolvers since it makes your recovery speed better. Keep in mind this will work with tri-laser, but not as well. If you don't feel like using straight pull bolt on sniper rifles, try remove stock because it increases both your handling and your walk speed, and on sniper rifles pretty much has no downside. If you have trouble getting the RPM down on semi-auto guns, try using a metronome for their RPM. This really helped me with the Mark 11, by the way. The long barrel on revolvers actually makes your recovery speed slower, which can be pretty annoying for tap firing fast. Snub nose makes your recovery speed a lot faster, however muzzle brake is just snub nose but with less downsides. If you want to get more suppressed enemies, do not use armor piercing. It actually halves your suppression. If you press E to spot an enemy and your hand moves, there is always an enemy there. Even if the red dot doesn't show up, which is a bug that happens sometimes, there will still be an enemy in that direction. The M107 with dust shot is not actually too bad. It does quite a bit of damage and has a ton of pellets, but the other 50 cals with dust shot are basically just objectively worse. The Steyr Scout with 5.56 does awful body damage, but is very effective against the head. Angled grip is probably the best low kill grip. The only other low kill grip is the vertical grip, and it's usually worse. The potato grip is alright and similar to the angled grip, but keep in mind that a flashlight can hurt your performance. Remember the recoil cap, especially on the M231. If you just aim down at their feet, you will hit them because the gun just stops going up after like 2 seconds. Nearly every single gun on Warehouse can penetrate walls, including some of the shotguns. The VSS Venturas actually has the highest full auto headshot DPS in the entire game, making it very strong. It could do 99 headshot and it has 700 RPM. Sometimes an attachment does something different on a different gun. For example, a long barrel on something like the FAMAS versus on the 1858 is far different. If you read the descriptions of these attachments, you might actually have a better time picking which ones are good. Just walking around on a map can actually help you find good flank routes, better sniping spots, and overall increase your skill on that map. The CAC SRR is very good and incredibly sneaky. It actually has the same sound effect as the AUS with silent. It is so quiet, man. If you're gonna buy a conversion, make sure to check the price first. For example, something that's pretty trash like pennies can actually cost up to like 10,000 credits. The Osprey suppressor does improve your hip fire, but keep in mind that the compensator is gonna do better in every scenario. If you peek a corner and there's somebody with a sniper rifle, do not peek them twice. It's usually not a good option. Make sure to switch to your primary before completing a flank. If you run into like 50 people and they're spawned on Metro and all you have is a melee out, that's gonna be pretty awkward. If you have the higher velocity or better ping in a sniper fight, you might actually win due to ghost hit markers. It probably won't even be a trade kill, you'll probably just win the fight. High recoil guns are usually better with a low zoom scope or alt aim, versus low recoil guns which are actually better with higher zoom sight. That's why I use Coyote on every single AUG, because it has a 2x zoom and it actually has a pretty effective use. You might think that buying keys for cases you already have is going to be less expensive than just purchasing starter cases, but trust me, it is not. The Paradox choke is actually a direct upgrade on shotguns with slugs, and it even works on the DB BV30-6, which isn't even a shotgun. Sometimes 2 attachments can be great ways to trade in stats. For example, running short barrel on the Hecate can slow your velocity, but if you run 416 Barrett, it almost cancels out and you get better handling. Leaving aim down sights on high recoil, slow guns will negate a lot of recoil. This is extremely helpful on the M17, SVDS, and even the WAD 2K. Running full choke on shotguns usually increases their effective range, but keep in mind you will lose a ton of damage. Remove stock and retract stock are actually the same statistically, but use remove stock because it looks way more sleek. If you're running away from a fight, throw a nade on the floor. It might just kill the guy chasing you. Even an ammo type that looks statistically like a direct upgrade can be pretty bad, like +B on the Henry, which lowers your torso multi and makes it so you can't torso kill anymore. The 357 conversion on the Desert Eagles are actually very similar, despite the originals having very different statistics. The stocks on the Spaz 12 are optic attachments, but keep in mind that if you want to unfold the stock, you can just run a normal sight and it will unfold the stock. Sometimes having a neon skin can be incredibly inconvenient. I mean, look at the neon tooth-based Honey Badger, man. All the scars actually come with the PM2, but just don't use it. If you set your FPS to really low, like 5, you can actually make every gun, including the M231, have no recoil. The downside to this is definitely that you have 5 FPS and you probably walk about 1 foot per minute, so it's not actually viable at all, but it's pretty funny. If you're a high rank, use WAD 2K 300 conversion. It's literally the most broken thing in the entire game, and if you're Stylus Studios, please nerf it. It's so overpowered. The FT300 is one of the few snipers with a conversion that 3-shot kills limb and can even 4-shot kill limb at range. The only other example of this is 5.56 on the Scout, but of course that's the Farged, and it's the best gun in the game. Thank you guys so much for watching. This took me a very long time, so if you could like it and subscribe, that would be very cool. Also, thanks for pretty much 25k subs. This video isn't probably going to make that much money because YouTube wants 8-minute long videos and it's less than 8 minutes, but yeah, please subscribe. Let's go for 5k. I want to do the other 50 of these. These are fun to make and they're really informative, so if you guys enjoyed, make sure to like and sub, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.